Hello everyone, welcome on in. It's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, #1 betting podcast and YouTube show brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, your hometown sports. We've had the outright show, we've had the live draw show, and now we have the best bets in round one on the men's singles at the Wimbledon Championship. Before I introduce you to a very, very excited Sean Calvert, who can't wait to tell you about these fantastic wagers he's found. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like. Give us a comment. Let us know your thoughts on Wimbledon. I hope you're enjoying the show. We need to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're about 400 shy of that at the moment. But hopefully during the next fortnight, during Wimbledon, with all this fantastic free content we are giving you, including our newsletter, which you subscribe to at thebettingweeklystudios.com, you'll be able to get us up to our target of 10,000. Now he is on tenterhooks, telling you about these matches. Good morning, Sean. How are you, mate?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. And happy birthday to you, I should say.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I had my birthday today. I don't like to talk about it anymore because of the age. You know, it's just another day, another day.
Happy birthday.
Anyway, yes, thank you very much. Nothing more, as we said on the pre-show, nothing I want to do more on my birthday than spend 2.5 hours with you, John, and Roy Giovanni.
I think you're blessed, honestly.
Very, very, very blessed. I'm chatting as well off the show. You're saying about Wimbledon. You know, it's saying that, you know, I when I used to really, really look at matches, the first round, I used to think, God, there's about 4 or 5 I like. But I look through these as well. There's some tough matches here, isn't there? Real difficult ones. Not a great card, is it, round one?
It's not. Normally, I look at the first round of a major. I think I look down the list of prices, and I just think there's 7 or 8 I think are really interesting and worthy of further investigation. I've struggled to find more than like 5 or 6 this time. I think a lot of that is that we were talking just before the show. I think a lot of it is a lot of these players are just turning up for the £66,000 round one losers check. I mean, I know the rules have changed and everything else, but some of these guys haven't played for weeks because they're injured, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's a 66 grand check on offer for playing in the first round. All of a sudden, they're all right again. And they're yeah. If this is any other tournament, a lot of these guys wouldn't be playing, but obviously they're here for you know. I don't blame them. You know, the rules are there. I would do the same thing. I'd probably turn up if I wasn't fully fit for the. It's a big lot of money, isn't it? So consequently, we've got a lot of players in this draw who I'm kind of trying to wheedle out. Are they fit? Are they not fit? Are they interested? Are they not interested? You know, there's a lot of clay quarters around here. You know, the first round of Wimbledon is still a slick, virgin, if you like, court, not been played on at all. It's still quite tricky for the clay quarters in the first round, but they certainly want this bonus. So yeah, it's a tricky one. There's a ton of really, really short priced favourites. Normally, I think, okay, let's sort of try and take them on, but I'm struggling a bit here. I've got some, obviously, but I think it's just been a lot harder than a lot of other slams. This has been really tough for me.
Yeah, he's getting his excuses in nice and early before we get the first result.
It's not an excuse.
I agree.
I
know.
It's just a terrible. I don't know whether anything's jumped off the page to you, but I mean, the odd 1 or 2, but not massively.
No, I mean, I'll come on to a couple of ones that I quite like, which we're not touching at the end of the show. But I mean, I agree with you here. I mean, the prize money, Hercash pulls out the tournament, doesn't even play in the tournament, gets 33 grand just to, you know, put his name in the draw. Name goes in the draw.
Yeah, that's a new rule, I think. I'm not sure what that rule is. I'm not sure of the exact wording of that rule, but apparently he gets half the money and the other half goes to what, a qualifier?
The lucky loser who comes in. I mean, it's it's a shame, but hopefully you can find some value. Also, as well, obviously, first round of Wimbledon or any major, the most bets you see when you're in the other end of the counter as the bookmaker is just literally streams of parlays. Yeah. Minus 2,000 parlays, minus 5,000. You know, all these players put into 10 legs parlays.
One normally lets you down.
You get. One normally lets you down, but as you said on the previous show, the Wimbledon tournament is a very good tournament for favourite backers and favourites backers. Now with doubts about some of these injuries to players and makes his favourites very hard to oppose. I think that may be the trend for a lot of bettors just to do these heavy parlays in round one. But we're not interested in parlay. No. We're not interested. We have parlay. We can do a parlay if you want, but we're not interested in tipping things at minus 2,000 and minus 5,000. We're trying to break down and find you some value. And obviously, Bet Rivers have about 35 different markets in all these matches at Wimbledon. If you are having a bet with them, You'll be able to live stream it on your tablet or your mobile device. Watch the matches at Wimbledon. Remember, it's an early start. It's 11 o'clock in the UK, which is 5 o'clock Eastern time. These matches get underway. So let's start off with, I'm not quite sure which days he's played. So let's start off with these 5 we've highlighted. The first match features Lorenzo Musetti. Now, Lorenzo Musetti has had a brilliant year this year. Clay court, breaking through to some big tournaments, doing well, getting to finals, got the final of Monte Carlo. Got to the semi-finals of Wimbledon here last year, played some brilliant tennis, and he's up against Nikoloz Basilashvili, who can play a bit on the grass. Minus 450 is Musetti, $3 for Basilashvili, 6.5 is the spread, 36.5 is the total here. Now, Musetti hasn't played since the French Open, since he got beat by Carlos Alcaraz in that semi-final when he had to retire. Basilashvili, on the other hand, has come through 3 qualification matches here, so there is a bit of a form-like guide as well on the grass. They've met twice before, 1 win apiece, but on their grass meeting in 2022, Basilashvili won 7-5, 6-3. It's fair to say Musetti has come on leaps and bounds. He's a top 10 player since then, but he's come into this tournament cold.
He's not fit. I mean, that's the long and short of this one. The first 2 matches I'm talking about here are favourites, very short price favourites that aren't fit. So I'm taking a chance on taking him on. I mean, Musetti's not played since the French with that leg injury. He's withdrawn from every grass court event this summer. And yesterday he pulled out of his exhibition match at the Hurlingham Club against Tsitsipas. Now, if you're not fit enough even to play an exhibition match, how are you fit enough in, a day or two's time, a couple of days' time, to play 5 sets? I don't see how that's possible. I mean, there's a chance Musetti might not even play, might not even show up, might the same as Hurkacz, but from a Basilashvili point of view, this is a chance for him. You know, he's not normally known as a grass man. His best results have come on clay and hard, but he can certainly play on it. You know, he's a former Halle semi-finalist, last 32 at Wimbledon a couple of times. He's come through qualies this summer. He did beat Musetti on grass, as you said, in their only grass court meeting. It was a few years ago. You know, it's probably not that overly relevant, but to Basilashvili it will be. You know, he knows he can beat this guy on this surface, and he's going to know Musetti's injured. You know, everyone knows in the locker room. You know, everyone knows who's fit and who isn't generally. The tipping point for this was the fact that he didn't even show up for that exhibition match yesterday. I mean, that suggests that he's just not capable of playing 5 sets here. You never really know with Basilashvili. I mean, his top level is right up there. When he hits the ball harder than probably anyone. I'm hoping this match is on Monday, actually, so I can go and watch it live at Wimbledon. I hope Musetti plays, and I hope he only plays for about a set or 2, because I'm taking Basilashvili here. You can take the opening set as well if you want to, because, you know, Musetti's not played at all on grass or at all in any capacity since the French. So he's nowhere near as prepared as he was last year. Yes, he was a semi-finalist here last year, but he certainly didn't come in cold, having not played since the French Open, that's for sure. Played numerous grass court matches before that. So, I mean, if you're betting Musetti at minus 450, I think you're taking a huge, huge chance. Certainly wouldn't be putting him in these parlays that you mentioned, Nigel. I mean, yeah, take the set one if you want to. I'm going to take the plus 300 that he wins this match. I mean, with Bet Rivers, the bets stand after 1 set is complete. So if he goes through 1 set and doesn't able to complete the match, then that's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's about the price. Plus 300. Take Basilashvili here in these circumstances.
Yeah, Basilashvili plus 300 with Bet Rivers. Head across to the website, download the app. An injured Lorenzo Musetti, minus 450. I mean, it's a bit of an ask for him to come here straight after that French Open semi-final defeat. And there's been pictures on social media of him trying to get himself fit, and he's clearly not fit if you look at the exhibition withdrawal yesterday. Unfortunately, Sean, that match is Tuesday. It's not on tomorrow, so you won't be watching it. But the next match is the first match on court number 9, so you might be able to get across to watch this one.
Oh, I can.
And hopefully cheer our bet on here. It's Jordan Thompson up against Vit Kopriva. Now, Jordan Thompson is another player struggling with injury, another player who's very, very short in the betting with Bet Rivers. Minus 315 is the price for him. Plus 240 for Kopriva. Spread 5.5. Total here is 37.5. Now, Jordan Thompson is a player that's very capable on the grass court, but he has got some injury concerns in this match. It starts at 11 o'clock Eastern time, so it's the first match on court. These two have never met before. If you look at Thompson's form coming into it, it's pretty poor. He's lost 4 of his last 5 matches. and he lost to Diallo in Herdegenbosch in a tight match. And he had that injury against Munar in Queen's Club where he had to pull out of that match. So injury for the heavy favourite again here. Are we looking at the same kind of strategy, getting with the dog?
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't normally back Kopriva against Thompson on grass if all things were equal, but I don't think they are equal. I mean, Thompson's not been fit all year, really. Again, this is a chance for Kopriva to boost himself from the 66,000 to whatever you get for losing in round two, which is, a pretty penny. Thompson retired at Queen's Club with a back issue the other week, played one set against Munar, lost it, and then retired. I think he pulled out the doubles as well. Even before then, he's had injury problems all season, different injuries, not the same one. He's had all sorts of issues, and he's only completed 13 matches all season. You look at someone like Alcaraz, I think he's played about 48 matches already this season, Alcaraz. 13 completed matches for Jordan Thompson, and he's shown a trend of showing up at Grand Slams this season, but not really being competitive. I mean, he's rarely competitive on the clay anyway, but he still showed up for Roland Garros, and he was easily beaten in straight sets by Lehechka. At his home slam, the Australian Open, he wasn't fit for that either. He did manage to get through the first round against, I think it was Dominic Kopfer, who's another one who's not been fit for ages. But he was then brushed aside in the second round by Nuno Borges. And he said, I mean, I think he's just turning up here because he loves grass and he loves Wimbledon. He said, I'll be doing everything I can to get out on the hallowed turf. I call it the home of tennis, and I really want to play here. So, doesn't sound great, does it? It sounds like he wants to play. He definitely wants to play. Will his body allow him to be the Jordan Thompson that we're used to seeing on the grass? I'm not sure it is. He didn't look that great in Rosmalen either. Lost to Diallo. There, I think he beat Kovacevic in the opening round, but he's someone that's not accustomed to the grass either. I mean, Kopriva's more of a clay man, but he can play on grass. He beat Gasquet in Wimbledon qualies last year, and he played a very, very close match against Ethan Quinn in Mallorca last week. He only lost in a final set tiebreak there. And he's a grinder, Kopriva. He's not a guy that will blow you away with big shots. He'll make you play ball after ball after ball, similar to Thompson, really. But this is going to be a tough ask for Jordan Thompson, especially if that back hasn't cleared up. So again, I'm happy to take a chance on the underdog, mainly on fitness. Kopriva plus 240.
Another dog, plus 240, Kopriva. We're starting the Wimbledon Championship for 2025 with two very nice dogs, where we continue in our next game, where we have Jesper de Jong up against Christopher Eubanks. These two have met twice before in Challengers a long time ago, 2021. Eubanks won them both, and a lot of tiebreaks, 7-6, 7-6, 7-5, 6-4. So big serving matches you would expect with both these kind of players. De Jong is not the best grass court form. He's only 5-11 on his career. But Eubanks burst on the scene in 2023, where he made the Wimbledon quarterfinals, and before that he won the tournament in Mallorca, beating Manarino in convincing style in the final 6-1, 6-4. Since then, he is not the player that we saw in 2023. He's probably making more money and making more attention for himself as a media guy, doing the commentary. So a very good media guy as well. He's excellent. But he's plus 107 here. Probably the opportunity of getting 66 grand before you get the 200 grand a week to work on CNBC or whatever the channel you're working on is probably too much to miss. But he's a plus 107 chance. Jesper de Jong has been bet in the build up to this match, but on the form of this year, he hasn't really got much to go about. Maybe another injury concern here. 1.5 is the spread, and no surprise, as I said, lots of tie breaks between these two, and a high games line of 41.5. 29 different markets available with Bet Rivers. Currently more to be added, and I'm sure Christopher Eubanks at plus 107 will be a popular bet with the American bettors. But is he a popular bet with Mr. Calvert?
He is, yeah. I think this one is about desire, and we might well see the best of Christopher Eubanks here at Wimbledon, where he obviously had such great memories. Almost made the semi-finals, quarter-finalist, lost in 5 sets, I think, to Medvedev. A lot of his issues recently have been injuries. The last time he was played at main level was on clay in Houston back in sort of April, and he made the quarterfinals there, which you wouldn't expect from Christopher Eubanks on clay. More of a grass man, or very, very quick conditions. As you said, he's been doing a lot of commentating lately, but I think a lot of that is because he hasn't been fully fit. He's been able to to do that commentary duty. But importantly, he's back now. He's been playing really well at the Hurlingham club that I talked about with Musetti a minute ago. He's already beaten Tiafoe there in the last day or two. Then he lost in a couple of tie breaks to Andrey Rublev. So very encouraging form for Eubanks. And he said, and I quote, he said, "Since getting here in London and practicing, I feel my game is as good as it's been all year. So I'm excited to get going on the grass, and I'm excited for the next 6 months. I really think I can kind of put the past 4 or 5 months behind me and really start to play some of my best tennis." So positive vibes coming out of Eubanks from the Hurlingham club, and the results to back it up as well. He's already beaten Tiafoe, lost narrowly to Rublev there. And this is a chance against Jesper de Jong, who's a clay man, really. You know, clay is his favoured surface. You know, he's not got massive weapons, but he likes to construct the points. You know, he's a very physical player. He'll make you play a lot of long rallies. But this style, I don't think he's going to like this matchup at all. Like Eubanks, out and out attack. He's just going to go for everything. Big serve, try and get into the net whenever he possibly can. Short points, quick, low bouncing grass. I'm not convinced about this for Jesper de Jong. And the head-to-head, again, it was a while ago, but it's still relevant, I think. Played on hard courts. Eubanks 104-96 ahead in terms of service points won and return points won totals. And Eubanks winning 39% of return points. That sentence has never come out of my mouth before when I'm talking about Chris Eubanks. You're normally talking about him winning 29% of return points. Not the best returner by any means, but he's found the fairly weak serve of de Jong breakable and attackable. This is, for me, this is all. If Eubanks is fit, this is set up for him. Plus 107, I'm happy to take a chance on that. If Eubanks, if what he's saying is true, then this is a great chance for him. So yeah, plus 107 Eubanks.
Yeah, 3 out of 3 on the dogs, all plus money, all hoping to go for us strong. Chris Eubanks adds to the dog list. Let's move on to our next match, where we have Zizou Bergs, a guy who made the final for us in Hertogenbosch, got beat by Diallo, our other finalist, so we didn't cash our 41T, but we cashed the each way money, which was good for us. Yep. But since then, his form has been pretty poor. Got beat in the first round in Halle by Kachanov, got beat in the first round by Fonseca in Eastbourne, lost in that Hernham tournament, used at the exhibition event there by Kachanov again in straight sets. And he's up against Lloyd Harris, who is a player that you don't really see much in here, but he comes out of Wimbledon. He had a decent run at Wimbledon last year, I think it was. Did he get to the second round?
He lost
to Ben Shelton.
Yeah, he beat Mickelson in 5 sets, then lost to Shelton in a final set tiebreak.
Yeah. And he's capable of playing on grass as well. Zizou Bergs have met once before, and Harris got the better of Bergs in 2021 in Antwerp. And obviously, Bergs is from Belgium. 7-6, 6-3, that was a defeat for Harris in Bergs' backyard. If you're looking at the odds here, Bergs is a heavy favourite. Bet Rivers minus $2, plus 160 for Harris. Plus 3.5 is the spread, and 39.5 is the total, with more or less a pick 'em. Minus 115 on the over, minus 110 on the under. Bergs did the business for us, but he hasn't hit the heights since then, has he?
No.
The other week, since he got to the final in Hertogenbosch, he hasn't done it.
No, I mean, let's be honest, he was a little fortunate to get to the final in Rosmar, and it's worked out nicely the way that I saw the draw panning out. I thought he had a chance, but the way he did it was certainly fortunate. Won a lot of tie breaks, could have lost in the first round, ended up making the final. And he's been, as I've said before on the recent shows, he's really been struggling with his serve, this grass swing. If you look at what he's done with his serve this grass season, he's only managed to get 54.6% of first serves in. And he's hit virtually the same number of double faults as aces, 0.53 double faults per game, 0.58 aces per game. So if he's getting an ace, it's being cancelled out by a double fault. So he's not getting anything out of his first serve, and he's only making just over half of them. Big problem with his service motion at the minute, Bergs. So a lot of this is about, it's about the service woes of Bergs. It's also about how fit Harris is, because I mean he's had an absolute nightmare with injuries over the last probably 3 or 4 years. Actually, he was top 32 in the world at one stage. He's got a very big game, huge serve, big forehand, goes for everything. Very, very powerful player. As I said earlier, he did beat Mickelson in the final set tiebreak here last year, then almost did the same thing against Shelton, ended up losing that one in the final set tiebreak. But, the injuries that he's had, it's been quite remarkable. He even managed to injure himself at the Nottingham Challenger on grass a few weeks ago. He hit himself in the head with his racket, got concussion. I mean, this guy's, the luck he's had is just been outrageous, really, with injuries. Not too many players get concussion from hitting themselves accidentally in the head, with a racket. As far as he's concerned, I just feel like this is, again, a good opportunity for him. He beat Bergs pretty comfortably. It was a long time ago, admittedly, but it was on Bergs' home soil in Antwerp. And Harris, absolutely dominant on serve, won 83% of all his service points. Bergs, therefore, only winning 17% on return, which is woeful. Given how poorly Bergs has been serving, given how well Harris can serve, much, much bigger serve, it just feels like an overs match to me. Over 40.5 games when I looked earlier was plus 100 with Bet Rivers. I could see this going the distance. I can't see Bergs winning this as comfortably as minus 200 would suggest. I think this will be a real challenge for him.
Over 40.5 at plus money. You can get the over 39.5 at a slight minus money. Go to the Bet Rivers app and you can move the toggle along to whichever one you want. Go 41.5, 38.5, whichever you want to use. Play the game line you want. So a long one we expect between Bergs and Harris, two big servers going at it on the grass. One thing we didn't say about the weather's going to be boiling on Monday, isn't it?
First 2 days, yeah.
Hot. So it's going to be quick. Yeah, it's going to be very, very hot at Wimbledon. If you are going there, take your factor 50 and make sure you put plenty of it on because it is going to be very, very hot, which will help. So I would presume help some of the big servers. Yeah. We may see a lot of tie breaks in round one. Let's have a look at our final match, and it's Andrey Rublev who's up against Laslo Djere. Now, every time I see the name Laslo Djere on a grass court, it's an automatic auto fade, and I've done it a couple of times already this week in qualification, and I've left my money behind because he's improving, and I'm not very happy about it. So do I stick or twist with him? That's the problem. I opposed him against Bo in Mallorca,
yep.
And I opposed him against Jong actually, and Jong done the business. So he is a player that is improving on grass. He's 3-3 this year, and that's not far off his best ever record on grass. And he's up against Andrey Rublev, who is not having the best of years. He's got Marat Safin in his corner now. He does hold a 5-1 head-to-head winning record against Laslo Djere, but they've never met on a grass court before. He's minus $4, Andrey Rublev, 3-1 Laslo Djere. Spread 4.5. Total here is 39.5. This looks a potential banana skin for Rublev, but it also, to me, looks like another one that could go long.
It could well go long. I mean, that head-to-head was when Rublev was doing a lot better than he is now. He's really struggling. This Marat Safin thing hasn't really worked out for him so far. I'm not saying it won't, but I don't want to blame Safin for it. But, Rublev, it's a strange one, Rublev, because he won Doha in February really, really impressively. Arguably, the best tournament he's played, one of the best tournaments, if not the best tournament he's played. He was great. But since then, he's been really poor. He lost on the grass to Echeverry in Halle, which I don't think anybody would have called that result. He was in charge of that match again, Rublev, but he just fell apart mentally as he so often does. Since winning Doha, he's gone 6-10 win-loss against top 100 opponents. If you look at what both these have done since that Doha tournament at main level, Rublev 47% win rate, service points won and return points won, total of 102. I mean, it's not bad, but it's based on his level, you would expect him to be up around sort of 105-ish, 106, something like that, at his peak when he was top 10. Djere, in the same time frame, 59% win rate and the same total of 102. Although, obviously, a lot of those matches were played on Djere's favourite surface of clay, but, he's certainly been playing well on the grass. I watched him, as I mentioned on the Instagram when I was in Mallorca, I watched him beat Mickelson in a practice set. Beat him pretty well as well. In Mallorca, he beat Basilashvili and Jong, two guys we've already talked about today. Beat both them in Halle. Lost in a deciding set to Felix in a very tight match. As you know, Nigel, he then beat Boo, who's another player that just hasn't adapted to grass at all. Boo, unfortunately. And then he lost in a decider again to Diallo. So he's, from what I've seen of him and from the results that he's had, I think we're going to have a bit of a rebase on him. He's not the most consistent. That's what worries me about Djere. Sometimes he's a bit moody. Sometimes, particularly if he's got an early start, he's a bit, finds it all a bit of a struggle. But when these guys have met in majors, it took Rublev 5 sets to beat him at the US Open. It took him 4 sets to beat him at the French Open. And Rublev does not have the best record at Wimbledon. He lost to Komasana in round 1 here last year. Lost to Giron in Halle last year. So he didn't actually win a match on the grass last season. And this year he's already lost to Echeverry. If you look at what he's done at Wimbledon, he's only won 2 of his 14 main draw matches at Wimbledon in straight sets. So with all that being said, you would think that Laslo Djere is going to make this competitive. Overs looks very likely. I would be tempted with Djere plus 1.5 sets here, plus 140 with Bet Rivers. You do with Djere, you do take a bit of a risk. As I say, he is a bit moody. If he's not really in the mood for it, then he does tend to down tools sometimes. I remember he cost me at the French Open. He should have taken a set, shouldn't he, off Diminor. He had loads of chances to win a set, missed them all, and ended up not covering the handicap. That's sometimes your problem with Djere. But I think if you're betting in this match, I certainly wouldn't be betting Rublev at minus 400. I'd probably take a chance on Djere with the 1 set handicap start.
Yeah, lots of ways to get with Djere over on the Bet Rivers app. On the money line, $3, spread 4.5, and on the 1.5 set handicap as well, or even the over total games as well. But Laslo Djere will push Andrey Rublev close in this match and may even win it. That is the view here. So it looks as though it's a good day for the dogs here. We quite like a lot of the dogs here. We think they're going to go well in these 5 Pacific matches that we have chosen to talk about. Remember, there are 59 other matches in round 1 at Wimbledon, stretch across 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and both of those days are going to be exceptionally warm. Very, very hot conditions to start the Wimbledon Championship this week. It will continue to go on next week, but the weather will drop down significantly from what we're going to have on the opening 2 days. Myself and Sean will be back on Tuesday on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, Tuesday, Wednesday, looking at the matches in the second round and the third round. There'll be Betting Weekly Tennis live. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the live in-play will be covered by the tennis handicappers on the team here. And so whatever you want on Wimbledon, we have you covered here on the fastest growing sports betting YouTube channel, especially for tennis as well. No one will give you comprehensive coverage like we do here, as well as subscribe to our newsletter, bettingweeklystudios.com. All we ask from you, hit the subscribe button. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Sean, 5 matches. How many official plays are we going for round 1 at Wimbledon?
I'm going to take the first 3 as official plays. I think I'm going to be a little bit circumspect just because these round 1 matches, as I said at the start of the show, I think these are really, really tricky. One of the trickiest I've seen in a while in Grand Slams. But the prices are certainly very, very tempting. But so I'm going to take Basilashvili to beat Musetti. I think he was plus 300, I believe, was the price on that one. The second one is a very similar bet about fitness, plus 240 about Kopriva against Jordan Thompson. And I'm certainly going to take a chance on Eubanks at plus money in the matchup against Jesper de Jong, plus 107 with Bet Rivers. I'm going to take those 3.
I'm going to give you a bet. Okay. You asked me if I looked at the matches,
yep.
And I looked at the matches. I've been following this young British guy. Have you watched this young British guy called Oliver Tarvet?
I've seen his results. I've not seen his matches personally, no.
Very, 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 very impressive. He looks like he's a player with a bright future. He's only 21 years of age. Probably should have broken through by now at the age of 21, but he's up against another qualifier in round 1, Leonardo Reedy.
Yeah.
I know Reedy's a big server. I know he's a big server, but I quite like the Brit, what I've seen here. He's had some really good results. He beat Blocks in the last round, who's a dangerous player.
Yeah, he almost beat Bergs at Rosmar.
Yeah, he's playing well. Done well on the futures events as well on grass. Exceptional grass record this year, and I think he could go close. He's the dog. He's plus 102. So I'm continuing with the dog.
Okay.
It's the first match on Wimbledon. We're starting with. Well, I've only just looked at 10 minutes of it. Really watched him. I watched him play the other day. I was watching some stream on the website, and I watched him play Atman. Is it Atman?
Oh, Atman, the French guy, yeah. The one who's got some mad IQ, like 170 or something like that. He's got some crazy IQ.
Well, he didn't play like someone who had 170 IQ, but he was the British boy was about a 4-to-1 shot, 5-to-1 shot to win that match.
I remember seeing that result.
And he annihilated him. And I thought, hang on a minute, he could do well at Wimbledon if he gets a draw. And he's got a Reedy, I think it's a good draw, and he's the dog. So I like that as well. Continuing the dog theme.
I mean, from a Raidy point of view, if I can get my words out, he's been injured for quite a while. He's a good player, Raidy, but he has had a lot of injury problems. I think a lot will depend on his fitness because he's missed quite a lot of tennis, Raidy. So that should be a really interesting match. What day is that on? I don't know yet.
First match on court. One of the outside courts. Get down there and cheer on for me.
I can try. You know how hard it is to get in them outside courts? There's only about 12 seats. You have to get there at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Get there early. Get there early. Sleep out there with all singing all your songs and sleep outside. That. Sing congratulations and God. Sweet Caroline. You'd be singing Sweet Caroline in the queue with all your friends.
I'll be hanging around by the bins trying to get the best Wi-Fi. That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah. That's what. If you want to follow Sean on our socials, he's always hanging around the bins. Because we win, he knows that is exactly where you get the best Wi-Fi at Wimbledon. The man doesn't miss any tricks like that. You know what I mean? He knows where the buses go, the bus routes. He knows where to get the best Wi-Fi. If you see him buying the pins, but you'll probably find him rummaging through the bins between court number 2 and court number 4. You'll see him there. Anyway, that's it for the first round of Wimbledon matches here on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. 5 matches preview, 3 official plays. Before I go, Sean, just give us a recap of the official plays.
Yes, okay. So the first one was Basilashvili to beat Musetti. I think he was plus 300. Second one was Kopriva to beat Thompson, plus 240, I believe. And Eubanks to beat Jong, plus 107 with Bet Rivers.
And there are 3 nice plays. As I say, we'll be back on Tuesday. Follow Sean at Wimbledon tomorrow on our socials at Because We Win. Good luck with your bets. Wimbledon Championships gets underway on Monday. We have the outright show. Myself and Sean is live now. Betting Weekly WTA, looking at the outright market on the women's draw and also best bets on round 1. It's also live on the website. Gamble responsibly. Head across to Bet Rivers. Download the app. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Thanks very much. See you all again Tuesday.